Welcome back to the Howl for our first Orchesis podcast. In today's episode, I sat down with Orchesis members Kaley Kalata, Kylie Andre, and Nora Fink to discuss their preparation for their February show, the bond they have with their other members, and how Orchesis has made an impact on them. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Howl. I'm Karis Meyer, and will be your host today as we discuss Hersey Orchesis Dance Company. We will talk through what Orchesis looks like throughout the year and how it has had an impact on its members. We have Kaley Kalata, Kylie Andre, and Nora Fink here today to discuss these particular topics with us. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. So, to start, let's just get into what grade you guys are in and how long you've been on Orchesis.
Sorry, I'm a sophomore, and this is my second year on Orchesis. Yeah.
I'm a senior. This is my fourth year on Orchesis.
I'm a junior, and this is my third year on Orchesis.
Great. Amazing. Okay, so just to get the basics, explain to us what Orchesis is.
All right, I'll take this one. So Orchesis is a class, but you also try out for it. It's a dance company. So we have after-school rehearsals and also 8th period. But it's like a lot more than that. It's really like my second family. We're all super close, and we do a lot of performances. We do philanthropy. We do certain clubs together. So it's a big commitment, but it's super fun.
So you said you had that class, and because we have the block schedule, you wouldn't meet every day. So you only meet every other day. Like, does that affect your guys' like rehearsals time at all to like prepare for dances?
Well, usually we have rehearsals after school every day during show season, but if it lands on the week where we only have it every other day and then rehearsals after school, sometimes we have it every day, but sometimes only every other day.
Okay, yeah, I get that. So you guys have you have the end of the year show in February, obviously, and explain to us, because that's like the main event of Orchesis, like what you've been working towards the whole year. Explain to us what that is.
Okay, so we have a big Orchesis show in February. We basically spend our entire year from like September to February prepping, and we do all of our dances that we've learned all year, and we get to just showcase all of our talent and all of our dances.
That's amazing. So you said you prep from like September to February. So walk us through like the months of like September or whenever you start to literally the end of show.
When we start for a show, it starts with like an audition. We audition our student choreographed pieces.
Okay.
And this year we actually, Waddell chose for all of our dances to get in, so that's super exciting. Everyone has a chance to showcase their skill and what they can do, which is super fun. And then we'll have...
Sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
How does that like casting process work, like the audition process?
Do you want to take this, Nora? Okay, so we all kind of prepare 30 seconds of a dance, and then there's one day in class where we just showcase it for everyone. Everyone gets to watch. They kind of try and remember their favorites, and then Waddell, our director, and Steph, they'll go and they'll kind of see which ones they think will look good in show, and just try and gauge how they can really put it together, because you don't want too much of one style or another, so it's kind of just dependent on the year, but they try and give everyone kind of a chance.
And you said this year, like, all the dances made into show, which is, like, amazing because everyone gets a shot. Were the previous years like that, or did some dances get cut? Or
No, yeah, unfortunately not every dance can be in show. This year we didn't have too many auditions, but sometimes there's many dances and we can't like fit that all in the show. But then Waddell gives us another opportunity to put them in a spring showcase later in the year, so everyone kind of gets a chance to show their talent too.
Right. So all of those dances that don't get put into the February show will get put into a later show.
Yeah.
So everyone gets it. Okay, that's good. So after casting process and the dances get picked, to walk us through what happens next.
Well, after dances get picked, we get like slots for rehearsals and stuff, and then this year each person got 4 dances, so you'll have four rehearsals after school, and you really just learn a student choreographed piece, or if you're a choreographer, you get to choreograph it, and we have pretty much from September when they get casted up until February to like learn dances and like clean them and perfect them.
Okay, yeah, so you guys are pretty much working like for all of these dances through like up until show, so you have like a lot of time with each other. Like, what is your favorite part of like this whole process?
Well, I just feel like being around all of the girls constantly after school or during class, even in between rehearsals when you're not even dancing and you're just waiting to dance. It's just such a good bonding experience because you're always together, and it doesn't even feel like rehearsal anymore. It just feels like you're hanging out. and it's just a really good experience, and you get all, like, so close with all the girls.
What about for you guys? What's your favorite?
I think it's really just crazy how there's 40 girls on Orchesis, but I still feel like equally close with everyone. I see any of them in the hallway, and I totally am such good friends with them. And I think it's just such an amazing experience that we can be friends with so many people and just spend so much time together.
Yeah, I think just the relationship part is the best part. Obviously, like, we just love each other so much, and it's so fun being around each other, but also the performance, really getting to, like, put on a show and perform and, like, show everyone what we can do is so fun, too. That's why our show is, like, probably a lot of our favorite things. We go around in a circle at the beginning of the year and say what we're excited for, and it's always show.
So when you start rehearsals, like, at least from personal experience, it probably doesn't feel like show season, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, but, like, at what point in, like, those months do you, like, finally realize, like, oh, this is show, like, we're preparing for show?
I feel like when you get on the stage,
Definitely.
which is this week, so that's exciting.
I'm feeling very show lately because next week is tech week. And I feel like when we just start doing all, like, the lighting and, you know, we see everyone's dances, which I'm pretty sure we're doing on Friday. We're going to show each other our dances. It's really going to feel like show. You're going to be able to see, like, all the other dances that you haven't seen yet, which is going to be really fun.
So you're saying all these other dances that you haven't seen, so for these, like, rehearsal slots, do you only, like, obviously it's only, like, your particular dance that you're in, but then, like, is there someone else rehearsing at the same time as you that you don't get to watch?
Yeah, we use the dance room and the tea tree, or sometimes gets displaced to the hallway or something. But there's usually, I think almost always,
there's usually two
more
slots.
than one going on. Yeah.
Okay, so, and obviously, like, do you guys practice the full 5 days of the week, I'm assuming?
No.
I'm pretty sure we practice, Mondays are, like, all cast, like, we do, like, our finale and our opening, we do every piece that, like, everyone's in, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday we have all the slots, and there's, like, 3 to 2 slots per day with 2 dances in each.
Okay. And do you guys do you like the schedule, or do you, like, wish it was a little different, or how do you feel?
I like it. I know it's super hard for Waddell to put everyone in dances and, like, get it all figured out, so I feel like as long as it gets done and, you know, people aren't missing out on their other activities, it's great. I know some people don't, like, they'll have a day where they don't have anything, and that's maybe they think it's a nice break, but maybe they, you know, wish they had it, but I think they do a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
So are any of you guys, obviously you said the show is, like, a lot of it's student choreographs, so are any of you guys choreographing this year?
Yes.
Both of you guys, okay. So explain to us just, like, the choreography process and, like, what effort goes into choreographing a dance.
I'll start. So I'm choreographing 2 dances this year, and I'm both doing them, like, with one of my friends. And I, like, had to choreograph every weekend for, like, a few months straight, but it honestly is, like, such a payoff to be able to see, like, your ideas come to life, and, like, I'm feel so grateful to have such great people in my dances, and, like, they clearly work so hard, and, like, my dances are looking so good right now, and I'm so, like, excited that I'm able to bring them to life through Orchesis.
Mm-hmm. I'm in one of Kelly's dances. But yeah, for me, I feel like I'm pretty chill with my choreographing. I kind of just like to see what happens. It kind of throws it together, but they always turn out really great because the girls work so hard. But yeah, it's super cool. You just get a chance to kind of bring a vision to life.
So, Kylie, you said you're choreographing with someone else. How is that, like, working with another dancer? Like, do you like it, or is it, like, stressful in any way?
Honestly, I feel like I've always, like, I kind of want to choreograph myself one time, but choreographing with people is so nice. It's so easy to bounce off ideas with each other, and it's, like, I feel like you do have to be compromising, but, like, I work really well with the people I choreograph with, so it ends up being even better than just me choreographing because I have other people's ideas to, like, help out, you know what I mean?
That's good. So, obviously, you're choreographing by yourself. Have you ever choreographed with someone else?
No, this is my 3rd dance I've done by myself, and I feel like for me, personally, it just works better because of scheduling. Like, I know it's can be stressful to get together with your people, and not that I wouldn't mind choreographing when we choreograph. There's a lot of other pieces that are student choreographed, like opening finale. They're all student choreographed by juniors, seniors. So I do like working with other dancers, but when it comes to, like, a piece, I kind of just like to do, like, whatever comes in my head. So that's just how it works.
So, Nora, you can answer this one too. Like, how does that experience change for someone who choreographs versus someone who doesn't?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Does someone else have anything?
I feel like the shift, like, because as choreographers, we're still going to other people's rehearsals. It's kind of just a shift of role, but not very drastically because, like, we're all friends, you know? So it's not like I'm being super strict in my rehearsal and, like, you know, we're all still chatting. It's not like I have to be super professional or anything. So it's not a super big shift. I think it's just more responsibility when you get into your time slot.
And so you said that, like, responsibility and, like, when you, like, going back to that whole casting process, do you even have to, like, you have to choreograph your 30 seconds, like, even beforehand? So you're really, like, taking on this huge role for, like, the whole months of your choreographing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so what do you guys, like, what are the advantages and disadvantages about choreographing?
I do think it is, like, really fun to have, like, your name on a piece. Like, they call out, we have announcers who announce the dances, and I do think that it is, like, really fun to have ownership of that dance. But, I mean, me personally, I always try to choreograph I feel like I choreograph for myself, but I put other people, like, in my dance, so it's hard because, like, my movement might be different than someone else's, but I always have to choreograph for everyone else. But I feel like a disadvantage would be, like, it's just kind of hard to, like, match, like, everyone's styles, and you're just trying your best to, like, just put choreography out there, and it might not always, like, suit everyone. Yeah. But I do think that people in my dances, like, challenge themselves to, like, do what I tell them to, and they're really good about, like, taking corrections and doing what's best.
Yeah, I think a challenge of choreographing would just not being too critical because in the beginning, like, it's hard to pick up choreography sometimes, and especially when it's not a style that you're used to. When I'm watching my dancers do it, like, it always turns out so good, but sometimes you'll give them something and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. And not that it's almost discouraging, but it's just like you're worried that people aren't going to like it. You want to meet everyone's expectations. You want to put something out that people are going to be like, oh, that's so good. So it's just kind of scary, especially you know that, like, a lot of people are going to see this. So you want it to be great. But overall, it's still fun. So I feel like there's not a ton of pressure, but it's just like you put that on yourself.
Right. And, like, so to get your dance, like, I don't know, want to say perfect, but, like, you know, to your liking, like, there's a lot of cleaning that goes into it. So, like, how long does, like, that whole cleaning process take?
It depends.
Yeah, it's honestly when I, like once I finish my dances, I feel like I try to jump right into cleaning. And cleaning can, like, be as specific to, like, where's your finger at this part. But, you know, like, I feel like once you're, like, working on a dance for so long, you know it well enough that you can, like, pretty easily clean. As long as, like, people, like, know the choreography, it's, like, pretty easy. As long as you're like, oh, it's just your head here. It's not too many big changes usually.
I feel like you start cleaning pretty close to show. Like we said, it's, like, tech week coming up, and we're getting on stage, and my dance is, like, not clean right now. So, but, you know, we can run through it pretty quick, like Kylie said.
Mm-hmm. And you said like cleaning can be, like, as specific as, like, where your finger is or, like, where you're looking. And, like, do you think, like, someone who doesn't choreograph or someone who doesn't even dance would, like, not even think about that kind of stuff, or, like, wouldn't take it as, like...
Maybe, because I know people who are non-dancers, like friends of mine or family or whatever, who come to the show, like, they don't notice those things really.
Right.
I think overall, like, the picture of things are really off. That's when people get to it. But I think it's more just, like, for ourselves, like, so especially for the choreographer, like, they can see their vision, and for other dancers, for our director. But I think overall it just makes it more cohesive, even if people aren't going to notice those, like, little things.
Mm-hmm. So for this February show, how many dances does this show usually consist of?
Probably about, like, 20, I'd say.
Yeah.
Around there.
Yeah. So would you say, like, what is it mainly student choreographed, or what are the other types of pieces you guys put on?
Yeah.
It's mainly student choreographed dances, but there's also full cast, like Kylie was talking about earlier. There's opening, finale. There's a whole hip-hop dance that everyone's in. And then there's, the senior dance. And there's a couple grade dances, freshman, sophomore, and junior, senior.
And do you guys choreograph, like, all of those dances?
Well, our hip-hop dance was a guest choreographer. So someone came in earlier, I don't know, probably a couple months ago. And we learned that. And we've just been cleaning that, lately we've been doing a lot because we're performing it tomorrow during the basketball game. And, that's the only one that's not.
So how many dances are, like, because obviously you said there's, like, probably around 20 for the whole show. Are, like, is each dancer, and how many dances would you say?
I think about 7 to 9 around there.
Yeah, because every dancer is in 4 student choreographed pieces, and then you add opening, finale, your grade level, and then, like, junior, seniors were in, like, another piece, which, like, is, like, a choreographed piece for Giordano. And, like, there always is just, like, little dances kind of sprinkled in, but I think probably around that.
And with there being so many dances, would you say, like, it's, like, stressful, or is it, like, exciting, or, like, tiring? Like, obviously when you're backstage, like, running, like, changing, like, how is that?
I think it's exciting mostly. I know sometimes with everything going on, like, a lot of us have outside studios. So we have, like, we were counting it up the other day, like, we have, like, close to 20 dances in our brains, you know, going on, trying to remember, which isn't as stressful as you might think because you don't have to know it. Like, no one's going to be like, do this dance right now, you know? Like, you kind of know what you have to do that day mostly. So you have time to prepare. So I think it's kind of just exciting to have that much because I know, like, we used to have underclassmen would only get in, like, 3 student choreographed pieces, and then, like, it was kind of rewarded. Like, as you get older, you get more. So it's like you want to be in more dances, but it is a lot, especially with, like, school and everything, to kind of stay on top of it. But we all help each other out, and it gets done, and it's fun. So
right. So obviously, with, like, so many dances, would you say that there, like, is less dancers in each dance, or do you ever wish that there was, like, less dances so more dancers could be in each dance?
Well, I think this year, there's a pretty good balance of, like, how many dancers are in dances. I know in years past there's been, like, only 4 dancers in a couple of dances, and I feel like it's been harder to cast. But with 40 people, I know it's, like, it was kind of, like, crazy to have 40 people in Orchesis. We've usually had more around, like, 30-ish. But with the blessing, it, like, comes with that. Like, I have a dance, I'm only a junior, and I have 14 people in my dancing. That's so, like, such an amazing experience to be able to choreograph for so many. But my other dance only has 7 people, but I still think we make it work really well. So I think it's an advantage to have more people, but it can cause challenges. So it's either way, it's like I feel like we just try to make the most of it.
yeah, there used to be, like, dances where there's only 5 people, and I know like, unless you request that, which is pretty rare, like, you always kind of want more than that. So it's like Kylie said, it's really great this year, but it can be kind of, like, overwhelming when there's a lot of girls in your rehearsal because it's a lot of people to get moving the same, but it looks really cool.
That's good. So you said, like, requests, do people usually, like, request a certain amount of dancers, and do they get that amount, or is it a little...
Yeah, it's pretty close. That's part of the audition process. When you show your piece, you, like, say your name, you say a title of the dance if you have it, you say how many people you want, the style, stuff like that. I usually just say the more the merrier because I'd rather stay on the safe side. But yeah, sometimes you need a certain, like, odd or even if you want to have partner work or if you want to have, like, a standout dancer, like a soloist. So yeah, Waddell tries to be accommodating, but it's a lot of moving pieces, but it usually works out how everyone is hoping or similar.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, our director Waddell, I think she works magic. She every year, time and time again, it, like, works out perfectly, and everyone, like, basically gets what they want with, like, I feel like she always gets, like, if you need something, I need an odd number, I need an even number, I need at least this many people, like, she always, like, makes it work. I don't know how she does it, but.
So to get cast in these dances, do you, like, give suggestions to it all, or do you specifically pick which dances you want to be in, or how does that work?
Well, when you see all the dances first during the audition, you kind of take notes in your head. You could take notes, like, on your phone, and probably after Waddell makes the cast list, which this year she took every dance, you put a preference down in your top 5 this year she did, and she tries to accommodate, but people have different schedules, you know. There are certain dances where, you know, it's only upperclassmen. There's certain dances that she just can't make all of your choices work, so that's why you give 5, and then she tries to accommodate all of your choices.
And usually sorry, Nora, it's usually by seniority, almost, like, seniors, she'll kind of try and give them their top picks if other things can't work out over, like, freshmen and stuff, but you know, everyone, when they go through the program, they'll get that chance. So it kind of works out good.
And that's also where you said that where you come in where, like, it's rewarding. It's like as you get older, you probably would get more dances that you choose to
Yeah, I feel like it's gone down even so. Like we said, like now I think everyone's in 4 dances, which is great. Like I don't think there's, like Kylie said, like everyone's so close. It's not like, you know, seniors are super dominating over everyone and stuff. It's not like, oh, you get all these rewards and you get nothing, freshmen. But like I don't want it to sound like that. But there are some perks for sure.
Mm-hmm. So going back to the dances, are any of you guys in each other's dances?
I think Kaylee's the only one who's in my dance.
Okay, okay. So do you feel like with being in, like, Kylie's rehearsal, do you feel the connection is different between, like, you guys compared to, like, someone else who doesn't have a rehearsal with you?
I don't think so, no.
No, we're such a, like, close bond. And I know, like, we always have inside jokes with, like, our different dances. But I do love, like, even, obviously I can't be in every dance, but I love, like, seeing, like, it on stage and seeing, like, all their jokes. There's always some move that is not made fun of, but it's, like, iconic in a special way.
Knows it.
Yeah.
So do you guys feel like, obviously you're in your dance, like you said, you have 14 people, like, that group of 14 girls, do you, like, I would assume you get pretty close, but obviously you have, like, multiple groups, so like you said, everyone stays pretty close, which is really nice, but do you ever feel like, if you don't have a rehearsal with someone with all, like, you're obviously still close with them because you see them almost every day, but is the connection, like, a little different there?
I mean, in, like, opening and finale, even if you're on the opposite side of the stage as them, like, I don't even know I'm dancing with you. So it kind of creates a disconnect, but not really. Like you said, we're always, like, we always meet at the beginning of class and, like, talk and stuff. So there's never really a day where, you know, we don't see people unless they just don't have a rehearsal. You know, like, in between, we'll be sitting in the hallway together, stuff like that. So I think, you know, you'll get closer because you'll have those jokes and you'll have, like, those shared experiences, but it doesn't necessarily take away from other relationships. It's just you're maybe not building them as much.
Right. So you said, like, in the beginning of class you guys would talk. What do you guys, like, do in this class time that you have?
Well, Waddell usually just touch bases with us. You know, there's always something coming up, and she just talks to us at the beginning, makes, like, checks in. And maybe, like, sometimes she has an assignment for us to do, but rarely. And usually we use class time to work on, like, during show season, like, opening or finale or our performance that's coming up or something like that.
And so do you guys, like, you said you, like, see everyone during this class. Is there any time where the whole Orchesis will get together outside of school or outside of rehearsal time?
Sometimes we'll have, like, a picnic at the beginning of the year. I think the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
And then usually at the end of the year, on the last day of show, we'll all have a sleepover. So that's super exciting. And then a lot of the times, like, grade levels will hang out and do their own thing. Like, I know the seniors are going laser tagging on Friday, so that's super exciting. Well, everyone's invited. But we'll send out a text, but we'll, like, organize that way, too.
And you said, like, obviously the different grades will get together to also choreograph pieces, like opening and finale. So do you feel like you will get, like, especially close with your grade? Obviously you are with them throughout, like, almost the 4 years, so do you feel like that is different at all too?
Yeah, I guess I've been on the longest, so I'll start. But yeah, the grade, like, some grades start off super close, like, everyone knows each other, and, like, a lot of grades change. Like, we started with, like, 5 and now we have 10, which is great. Wow. So obviously, like, dynamics change, but it just, like, by the time you get to seniors especially, and, like, even before that, like, you guys are so close. Like, everyone just seems like best friends. Like, I feel like I could go up to anyone and just start talking and telling them anything I wanted to. Right. So yeah.
Yeah, and for my grade, we have 13 people in my grade, but I honestly think, like, the more the merrier. Like, I'm so close with everyone in my grade. We hang out, like, we try to hang out. We had, like, a sleepover the other weekend. Like, we always try to, like, make time for each other. And it's, like, it's such a, like, it's almost, like, more special of a bond. Like, oh, that's my fellow junior. We were, like, doing finale. And I'm, like, juniors rule. Like, it's just so fun. Like, we have such a good bond. And, like, even, like, choreographing together, we would, like, meet at someone's house or, like, a studio. And, like, they call us machines because we get stuff done so fast, but we, like, do really, like, hang out during that, and, like, it's just so fun. Like, it is definitely, like, a special bond between your grade.
And they have, like, a little chant they do before a show. Like,
we do have a chant.
Yeah.
We're kind of we're
a unit.
We're a unit like that.
It's super nice to have that connection, yeah.
And then for my grade, I feel like there's a huge gap because there's so many people in each grade, especially the freshmen that just came in. And there's only 4 people in my grade. Oh my God. But next year, I feel like it'll be fun choreographing opening because, you know, there isn't that many people, so we might have, like, shared ideas. It'll be, like, you know, like, calm.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm excited to choreograph with them next year.
Do you think with, like, less people, you have, like, less ideas to bounce off of? Do you think it'll be harder to choreograph with them?
I mean, I can't really tell. It could go either way, but we've talked about, like, you know, like, I don't know, we've talked about it, and we're excited. I think it'll go good.
Mm-hmm. And with, like, the juniors being the biggest grade when you guys choreograph, like, does it get frustrating? Like, is there any, like, you know, bickering that goes on when trying to choreograph? Like,
honestly, I think we all just, like, because there's 13 of us, we all, like, are aware that there's 13, so we try to be, like, especially because there's so many people, we're not going to choreograph all together. Like, we do a whole dance together, but we'll, like, split up into, like, small groups. Like, you take group 1 and choreograph that just to, like, honestly make it easier for everyone else. Like, it's a smaller load. Right. So, like, and then if there's another special part, like, these people who are in it are going to choreograph it. And then it just makes it a lot easier to teach so we can, like, do different groups. And, like, honestly, like, I feel like we're all very mature. It's pretty easy to choreograph. Like, we just, when we know what we need to get done, and, like, I think it's pretty good. We work well together, so it works out.
When the seniors get together to choreograph, we spend about... No, it's not we're not fighting at all or anything. We literally just hang out for an hour and eat snacks, and then, like, the last 30 minutes or however, we're like, guys, we gotta get something done now, so...
And would you say, like, when you're, like, teaching this choreo to the whole Orchesis, is it, like, you know, that same thing where you guys, like, will work together pretty well? Or, like, how do you decide, like, because not all 13 of you can teach one section. Like, how does that work?
Honestly, I feel like this year we just like divided it. Like, I think it was like me and my friends were like, oh, you 3 take that group and you 3 take that group, and then it just made it easier because, like, if you're doing this one part, you just won't do the other part. And then, like, I mean, like, one of the parts I was, like, just standing in my spot, and it just, like, makes it a lot easier because you don't want too many people up in the front. It just makes it confusing.
Yeah. And with there being, like, 40 girls and, like, trying to teach a full dance, like, in that, like, that dance room is small. Like, how is that? Like, because it's so hard to do things full out. Like,
yeah.
A lot of marking.
Yeah, a lot of marking.
We're like, do it to the best of your ability. Don't run into the wall.
Yeah, especially if you're, like, in the back, you're, like, everyone's stuff is behind you.
Yeah. Don't kick each other.
Yeah. So do you ever get, like, a chance to, like, because even our stage is pretty small, like, to do it, like, when do you guys have a chance to do it, like, the dance full out, so you can actually, like, practice that?
Sometimes we'll do it in groups in the dance room, like, once it's kind of pretty much done. Or sometimes we'll go in the gym, but not often. Yeah. And then really, like, the stage, but even the stage is hard sometimes because that's not very big.
And so for the stage, you guys said, like, even, like, next week we have Tech Week. So how does, like, Tech Week differ from your regular rehearsals?
The scheduling's a little bit different. Like, the slots kind of change. And you'll have, for, like, the first time, like, this week or next week, we're going to have half time on the stage. Like, half of our rehearsal will be on the stage and half of our rehearsal will be in the dance room or the teachery. And then as it goes on, you'll start, like, doing lighting. And then sometimes we'll, like, do we'll have dress rehearsals where we'll do, like, costume or maybe hair or makeup when it gets really close to the show. So it just progressively, like, gets more and more like the actual show.
And would you say, like, would you like this feeling of, like, doing tech on the stage? Because, like, you said the first week you, like, split half and half. So is it just, like, a regular rehearsal, but you're on the stage instead of in the dance room?
Yeah, that's the first week for sure because it's good to, like, block on the stage because obviously the spaces we're working with aren't the same, like, dimensions as the stage. So you might think, oh, we have all this room and then we don't, or, oh, we're, like, smishing it down and we can figure out where everyone needs to be.
And is it hard to, like, transfer the dance from, like, this dance room or the teacher room, like, to the stage?
It can be.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty, like, we all, like, do shows. We're all dancers pretty much outside of school, at least most of us. And, like, the years going on, like, you'll get used to it. I think it gets, like, we get used to, like, being on the stage. You just, like, kind of have to, like, once you block, you have to memorize what line you're standing on the stage. We, like, put our floor down, and there's different, like, marks on it. But I do like the kind of schedule where we, like, go kind of halfway. It's like you're dipping your toes in, like, to, like, being on the stage. I feel like we go pretty slow so we can get very used to it. Like, by the time show rolls around, it's, like second nature where I stand on the stage, which I really like.
And so you said most of the girls dance at other studios. Do you feel that there's, like, something that you, like, will take from, like, your studio or something you take from Orchesis and, like, bring to the other?
I think you're always, like, getting better as a dancer wherever you're dancing. So you're always, like, maybe perfecting something or learning something new. But as far as, like, choreography goes, those are pretty separate. You know, like, obviously moves overlap. But a lot of the time in our outside studios, we're not the ones choreographing. Most of the time, we're not the ones choreographing, so it's a little bit different.
And do you guys dance at same studios? Or do a lot of the girls dance at the same?
Yeah, there's, like, there's a couple studios, like, everyone's coming from. A lot of us dance at Vibe. Me and Kylie dance at Vibe, and then
I dance at McDonald's.
yeah.
And there are other few studios, but I do really like that, like, with Orchesis, it's, like, you're a mix of a lot of things. I feel like, I mean, at least me and Kaley, we've been at our studio since we were really young, so it's so nice to have a new experience dancing with so many different people, and you just get, like, so much of a, like, greater, more rounded experience, because, like, you're dancing with other perspectives, like, even other choreographers with Orchesis, so it really gives you a chance to grow.
Right, because you are, like, you've been with each other since you were, like, 3 years old, and then you come into high school and you're with completely different new people. Yeah. So, Kaley, being a senior, this is your last year. Do you really feel like it's your last show, and, like, when does it finally hit, and, like, how do you deal with all those emotions?
I haven't dealt with it yet because I've been pushing it off. I know, like, Saturday is sad night. That's the last day of show. I will probably be bawling my eyes out. I know that I'm gonna get so emotional. Like I said, like, this is my second family. Like, this program means so much to me and everyone else. And even just, like, seeing my other seniors, like, just knowing that this is our last time dancing with everyone, like, it's heartbreaking, honestly. So I haven't been thinking about it because I don't want to be sad all the time. But I know, like, when we probably the night it'll hit me is our first show. Like, I think that'll I want it to be fun, but I'm hoping it doesn't hit me until, like, the last one. But being honest, I'm probably going to get pretty sad. But I want it to be a fun experience, but it honestly is so sad because it's a great experience, and knowing that, like, you never get this again. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So, yeah, and, like, shows, like, it gets, like, hyped up so much, and, like, because it is very, like, hyped, but, like, when you get off the stage for the last time, like, I don't want to make it get off the stage for the last time, like, on Friday, or Saturday, my bad, like, how does that, like, obviously you won't know until you're there.
Yeah, but I don't know, because like I said, we got the sleepover after, so it's still going. Show is not dead. So hopefully, you know, there's still, like, a lot of energy. But we do kind of, they, like, call off the seniors, and we get a rose Saturday. So there's kind of, like, a lot of tradition, and I think it'll be overwhelming. And I think when it's finally done, it's gonna be, like, almost like a breath of fresh air, but not in, like, a good way. Almost, right. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's gonna be really sad, but I know we're all going to want to go to that sleepover and have so much fun. Probably when I get home the next day, I'm going to sit there like, what do I do now? But yeah, we'll see. I really don't know.
So after, like, the show's over, you guys obviously will still meet in class, but do you have, like, anything else to, I don't want to say, like, look forward to, because obviously you always look forward to Orchesis, but, like, is there any other big events that you guys will do?
Well, we do have, like, a spring show. We used to have a spring showcase, like, in the spring, and obviously with COVID it got cut off, like, at least my freshman year, but I think we talked about doing, like, another kind of, like, little small showcase in the spring, just so we have, like, another thing to do and another thing to work on. We kind of, a lot of class period with nothing to do makes busy. We don't want, like, busy work. We want to, like, have something we can do. So I think that was something we were going to do. But honestly, like, the end months of Orchesis are really, like, fun. We, like, just do, like, little projects. Like, I know, like, some people, like, will ask, oh, anyone want to teach a combo, stuff like that. So, like, we do get stuff done. But, like, after February, that's, like, our really heavy season. So
So do you ever feel like after show you get into, like, this post-show depression? Or?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's weird because usually, like, okay, well, now we'll have, like, summer to look forward to and stuff. And there, like Kylie said, there are, like, sprinkles of fun things in there. And we'll be doing Dynamite Dancers, hopefully this year again. So that's when we have, like, the CLS students who want to do dance. They'll come and we'll, like, do a dance with them, and we'll put that in the spring showcase. So I always look forward to that. But, yeah, it's a little bit, like I said, like, what now? But because show is such, like, the main event, but it's still so fun, and you're still with everyone. It's a good experience.
And honestly, I feel like you have, like, a sense, like, after show, you have a sense of, like, accomplishment. Like, look at what we did. And, like, I remember last year we all sat in the theater and watched the, like, video of it. And it's so fun because, like, you don't, when you're backstage, you don't really see the show like firsthand, but it's so fun to watch it as a group. And, like even now, like, my friends will be like, let's watch show from 2 years ago, like, all the time. And, like, it's just so fun to, like, see those dances and, like, be able to, like, feel like we did that. Like, we put that whole show on, like, just us, and, like, we can, like, claim that. So, like, I feel like there's a sense, like, obviously we're so sad show season's over, but I feel like once it's done, it's like we did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So, Nora, last year was your first year on Orchesis because you're a sophomore. And obviously we had COVID, so, like, a lot of us weren't in school. So do you, like, feel with COVID, like, how did that affect your Orchesis experience with it being, like, not a normal year?
Well, personally, last year I didn't go to school for most of the year. I was mostly remote until the end of the year. So during Orchesis, like, the class period, I was on Zoom, and a lot of the other girls were on Zoom too, but I feel like there was, like, it was hard to, like, become close with a lot of the girls until we had, like, it started getting warmer. We had outdoor rehearsals because we couldn't do that during the winter. And show was very different, but considering that show was so fun last year, I'm, like, really, really excited for this year. And especially the things that came after show that I've heard about, like, we didn't do those last year. And I feel like I just haven't experienced a lot of the things, and it's going to be really, really fun.
That's amazing. So this is, I guess, a question for all of you guys. How has Orchesis, like, impacted your high school experience in general?
Oh, my gosh. This is such a packed question. Honestly, Orchesis is, like, literally, like, one of the most important things in my life. I love to dance, and, like, the fact that, like, I can go to school and, like, we have a dance studio in school, and, like, we have that such an amazing dance team. Like, all of my friends are on Orchesis. My high school experience would be completely different if I wasn't, like, a part of it. I feel like I kind of make it a personality trait. It's part of my identity being an Orchesis member, but it truly is, like, it's such a big part of my life, and I think that, like, high school would be a lot grayer without it, because high school can be really rough, but, like, honestly, going to Orchesis, like, all of my stress is, like, left at the door. Like, I don't even think about, like, school when I'm with all my friends and, like, doing what I love.
Yeah, like Kylie said, it would be so different without Orchesis, and it's always something to look forward to. Like, even on the days now, because it's blocked, like we talked about, how it's not every day. You're still probably having a rehearsal, or you still can go to it the next day. Like, it's always just, like, a light at the end of the tunnel, like, whatever you've got going on, because, you know, school is stressful, but Orchesis, like, it's just not. Like we said, we put pressure on ourselves to do well, but it's so fun, and I think having that just makes all the difference.
Yeah, even though I'm only a sophomore, I couldn't imagine, like, school or my life without Orchesis, because, like, I seriously don't know what I would do. Like, and I definitely wouldn't be the same dancer, because you get exposed to so many different styles of dances. And even though you dance at, like, or I at least dance outside of school, like, I don't get, like, exposed to hip-hop as much. And we do a lot of that in Orchesis. And I definitely, like, the people on Orchesis, like, best friends. I couldn't imagine.
So what's something from Orchesis that you've, like, learned from, or that you will take with you, like, when you eventually leave high school?
Honestly, I feel like I've learned so many skills in Orchesis. Like, I feel like I love, like, the sense of, like almost, like, leadership we get to gain. Like even just, like, I'm in the show committee on Orchesis, and, like, I made the poster. Like, I have that leadership to, like, be able to do that. And I love that, like, we are, like, I love that, like, I feel like a lot of other teams, like, at a studio, like, the studio is run by the teachers, but, like, Waddell really lets us run the show, and I, like, love that, because we get such, like, leadership skills, and, like, all the skills, even just, like, from choreography and, like, from dancing. Like, Orchesis has taught me so much just about, like, honestly, just life skills that you need to know.
And that must be, like, a good, like, change from, like, going from a studio to Orchesis, because it's more, like, student run.
Mm-hmm. You get, like, we definitely get, like, ownership of it. Like, Orchesis is, like, run by the students, and, like, in such a good way. Like, we all are such, like, we do it so well too. Like I feel like if you would tell anyone like from a dance studio that like, oh, we choreograph our whole show, we run our whole show, we make all the posters, all the spirit wear, and like they would be like, oh my gosh, like how do you do that? Because usually it's run by like someone older, and obviously Waddell helps, but it's like I like that we like have that experience.
Yeah, I think we learn a lot about just like living life to the fullest. Like we do have a lot of sit down reflections, like talk about our goals, and I think that's super important in life with anything you're doing. I think like going forward, a lot of us like still want to dance, or even not in dance. You can just take away from like trying your best and putting your best foot forward, like in whatever you do. Waddell's always pushing us to like be stronger dancers, be kind people, anything like that. So I think it just overall makes us a better people in general.
Right. And we're constantly working together. I mean, like, constantly when we're dancing, either doing something for a committee, you know, every time we're around each other, we're helping each other. We're very supportive of each other, and I feel like that's something you use every day in everyone you meet, and, yeah.
Seems like Orchesis has had a huge impact.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll end on that note. Thank you for tuning into the Howl as we brought our first Orchesis podcast. If you have no plans, Hersey's Orchesis Show Pursuit is February 24th, 25th, and 26th. Tickets are $10 at the door at 7 p.m. Don't be late. Thank you to our guests for joining me today, and to everyone who tuned in, and have a great show, ladies.
Thank you.